This is Marketing Uncomplicated. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Today, I'm joined by Alfredo Borodowski, consultant, keynote speaker, and leading voice in positive psychology and peak performance. Alfredo's background is anything but ordinary. He brings together law, theology, and clinical therapy with over 30 years of experience guiding leaders, teams, and entire organizations through deep transformation. He's worked with global companies like Motorola, over 50 nonprofit organizations across the US and South America, and has developed a signature approach called positivity plus performance equals peak performance. I will repeat that again. Positivity plus purpose equals peak performance. His upcoming book, The Human Upgrade, I love the title, The Future of Leadership in the AI Revolution, explores how leaders can stay effective and human through rapid change. Alfredo is someone who doesn't just talk about resilience, he's lived it. And today we're diving deep into how to build strength, motivation, and innovation when the old strategies stop working, which they definitely are. Welcome to the show, Alfredo. It's so wonderful to have you.
Hi, Sasha, and everybody listening. It's a pleasure to be here on a steamy day here in New York. Impossible to get out. I just went out to take a stroll around the parking lot and I ran back into my office.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it is really hot these days everywhere, and New York is not fun when it gets hot. So I definitely feel you. I hope it's cool in the office. So let's talk a little bit about the making of a human upgrade. So your background is so unique: law, theology, and clinical therapy. How did that journey shape your approach to leadership and performance today?
Yes. Well, positive psychology is the science of flourishing.
Yes, I like that.
Then I am into giving organizations the tools to achieve performance, peak performance, through the science of positivity and purpose. And I call it a science because in 1998, at that point, president of the American Association of Psychologists, Martin Seligman, was standing at the annual convention and he posed a challenge to all the psychologists. We've been studying what goes wrong in the psyche, trauma, PTSD, neurosis. Why aren't we studying also what goes right?
Mm-hmm.
There were no papers, Sasha, on resilience, happiness, flourishing, courage. And he put together a team of 50 great minds of theology, psychology, science, religion, philosophy, and they studied for 4 years those strengths and virtues that are found across cultures and geographies and times, and they came down to 24 character strengths, which are the backbone of character and strength throughout the history of humanity.
Yeah.
And from that, they built a science. And now today we know how to achieve performance results, knowing that what we call soft skills, wrongly called, are actually the hardest in terms of the most essential ones to achieve performance.
Yeah, and tell us again what those soft skills are, so we can reframe that in our mind, that they're
Yes,
actually the hardest.
we heard about soft skills, which is, and it's interesting. And then research for my book, the first ones to use the term soft skills were the military.
Interesting.
In 1970.
That's so interesting.
Yes, they wrote manuals in 1970s where they distinguished between hard skills, how to shoot a gun, how to engage in combat, and then soft skills that had to do with the emotional part of the self. And what happened that this was adopted, copied by the corporational world, by the organizational world, and then by, language not only communicates, language creates.
Yes.
Okay, you name something and the thing becomes. By the way, that's the Bible, and God said, and the word was.
Yes, yes.
Okay, people think that language only communicates. Language The word abracadabra that magicians use
Yeah.
comes from an ancient language called Aramaic.
Yes, that's true.
For those who are Christian, that's the language that Jesus spoke.
Yes.
And abracadabra means abara keadabra in Aramaic, which means I will speak and it will create. Then once we began calling culture, emotions, emotional intelligence, resilience, motivation, soft skills, they became a second to hard skills, which are, like strategy, metrics, okay, all that part of the business. And we downgraded what we know today actually is at the core of performance and results.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So much to unpack there. Just from, the military calling skills that, aren't necessarily soft, really, the military not being like a soft backbone. And then, this back history of abracadabra is incredible, and really language and how it creates.
That's what I do with leaders, by the way. When I work
Yes.
one-on-one with executive coaching, my number one thing is to listen how they talk. And I can tell you after 10 minutes how they're impacting on optimism and hope, which are two core components
Of being a
of,
leader.
of performance,
Okay.
for leader and performance. And I can tell you immediately, according to some key language, key words they use, if they're leaning towards optimism and hope, or they're conveying messages which are negative and basically depress those listening.
We're gonna dig in because that's the that's the exciting part. But just a little bit to unpack here. You've rebuilt your life after some serious setbacks. Can you talk about the turning point, about what fueled your personal comeback?
Yes, part of my theology approach, spirituality, is that I was a rabbi
Okay.
for 30 years, and I was a rabbi of one of the most prestigious congregations here in the States. I had as congregants the CEO of Prime Media, of MetLife.
Yes.
I had half of Wall Street as my congregants.
Wow.
And senior partners of the top firms in Manhattan. I was on top of the world,
Yeah.
Sasha, until a congregant of mine, a retired policeman, gave me as a present one of those badges for family and friends.
Yeah.
That should be illegal, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was manic.
Yeah.
I was manic at that point. I was suffering from mania.
Yeah.
And I went to my psychiatrist and lied in order to keep the manic going on. And I told him that I was depressed. Gave me an antidepressant.
Okay.
And between the mania, antidepressant, and the badge, I began patrolling the highways of New York and telling people how to drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, didn't touch anybody,
Yeah.
but until one day I showed the badge to a young woman, and 2 minutes later, I had 3 patrols behind me and I was arrested.
Is it because she recognized you?
But no, because I found out from the restraining order she had against me that she was the fiancée of the policeman in town.
Who had given you the badge?
No,
Oh.
the one who arrested me.
Oh my goodness. You can't make this up.
No. It's my next book. I tell the story, by the way, on the human upgrade. I tell the story.
Yeah.
And then I was arrested. I went into depression. I was fired from my prestigious job.
Yeah.
And because I was a prestigious rabbi, the press made a circus out of me, and they called me on TV the road rage rabbi.
Wow.
And it went viral, front page of newspapers from Ireland to Japan.
Yeah.
And once I was hospitalized, I was for the first time diagnosed bipolar.
Interesting.
Then went back home, fell into deep depression for months and months.
Yeah, because you lost your life.
Everything. Sasha, I can express the darkness, obscurity that I was into.
Yeah.
But one day, I felt an energy. I went up to my office and I found something on my desk which I had no clue how it got there.
Yeah.
I found a yellow file folder. I opened it
Mm.
and I saw the results of a test on positive psychology I had taken a few years earlier. And I read my top 5 strengths: creativity, love of learning, curiosity, perseverance, and bravery.
Yeah.
And something turned on within me. And a month later, in the midst of depression, I went back to school to become a social worker.
Wow. Oh
And
my
I
God.
did, with all the depression and court cases, I soared through school
Yeah.
and I became a clinician.
Yeah.
And then I said, look what positive psychology and knowing my strengths have done for me. I need to give this gift to as many people as possible. And then I continue my consultant work and I go around the world doing workshops and keynotes and writing books to give people the gift of the top strengths.
Yeah. I mean, that is an incredible story. I mean, just the fact that, because I believe in serendipitous things that happen. And it's like the fact that that folder was sitting there on your table and no idea how it got there. I mean, everything that you've went through in life was to get you to this place.
And clearly the lady that was the fiancée of the policeman in town was a blessing.
She did you a favor.
Exactly, a blessing. It took me some time to recognize it.
Did you
But
thank her?
what?
Have you thanked her?
No, I can't. Restraining order.
Oh, that's right.
But I issue an apology through her lawyer. Clearly,
Yeah.
I apologize to all my victims because they were victims. I take
Yes.
full
Yes.
responsibility.
Yeah.
But there was a blessing that she stopped the madness.
Yeah.
Okay, then there were a lot of things in this story that you wonder how they happened, Sasha.
Yeah.
And then the planets were aligned.
Yeah.
And that also allowed me to see what my illness was, and it's completely under control for the last 10 years. I have no episodes, no, completely normal life.
Yeah. Is there a saying that you have in Judaism that basically means like it's from the heavens, or that
Yes,
these
yes.
things happen?
It's called in Hebrew Ashgaha Pratit,
Yeah.
okay, which means individual providence.
Okay.
That there is somebody, something watching
Over
upon you,
Yes.
okay, for things to happen. And I think most religions have it.
Yes.
That now, interestingly, I don't want to get into theology, but I
Yes.
am more on the random
Yes.
spectrum. I believe that more things just happen.
Yes.
But I also,
So you don't believe in the coincidence of it?
I believe, look, there were coincidences, there was something mysterious, there is magic, there is wonder. But I don't think that when bad things happen to good people, there is a reason behind it to teach a lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, and things like that. Or suffering will going to make you better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or suffering is going to purify you and redeem you.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe in that. Okay, somebody got cancer is really bad, and I'm not going to go and say, well, find purpose in it.
Yes.
Okay, no, that's we're going to go through this together. We're going to find courage, sustain each other, community prayer, etc. But we are not going to find here reasons of making you righteous through suffering.
Yeah.
That's not the route to go.
Yeah. I have a question though to that point. Do you think, let's say none of this happened to you and you went through the schooling, you started to teach this, yes, I mean, it landed pretty much on your lap that this happened. But let's say this is who you were and you weren't this high level rabbi. Do you think that if you didn't go through what you have gone through, it would change how you coached somebody and these leaders in terms of how they face burnout and reinvention?
Well, one thing for sure, I left the rabbinate.
Yeah.
Once a rabbi is always a rabbi.
Yes.
Okay, that's not something that you stop being.
Yes.
But I dedicate my full time to consulting, to positive psychology, to coaching. I don't bring religion into coaching.
Yes.
but do I have spiritual sensitivity? You know, when my first gig was like 20 years ago in Dallas, the very well-known CEO Morton Myerson.
This is now while you are a positive psychologist.
No, that was before. Before I became positive psychology, I was an expert and still an expert on Myers-Briggs.
Okay.
So that's the way I began consulting on personality type.
Okay.
While I was a rabbi.
Okay. So this was
Okay,
before everything.
20 years ago. My arrest was in 2013. Just to
Okay.
give you some chronology,
Yes.
2013, it was way before. Then the first one to give me a break was Mort Myerson, who was the CEO of EDS. If you go to Dallas, the
Yes.
symphonic building is called the Mort Myerson building.
Yes. I was born in Dallas. I know it well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then he called me to do one of his startups.
Okay.
And I told Mort, this is my big break. I ask you a favor. When you introduce me to this company, do not mention that I am a rabbi.
Yeah.
I am coming as a consultant. And then we are there. The entire team is there. It's my big break. All executives. I coming from a different world. And the first words that come out of Morton's mouth is, here I come to introduce you, Rabbi Alfredo. And I said to myself, Mort, I am toast. But because he's one of the most intelligent people I had ever met, during lunch, the CEO of the company calls me aside. And you know when somebody calls you and I don't want anybody to hear, please come with me, that kind of.
Yeah.
And he says to me, my wife has stage 4 breast cancer.
Okay.
And we were talking yesterday, and she asked me if I believe that there is something after this life.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to answer. Can you give me some wisdom? Then when I get back, I can give her some peace.
Yeah.
And I realized that I don't hide that I work as a rabbi. And besides giving top of the line, I believe, consulting services on the latest of positive psychology and purpose, people come to me with questions about the meaning of life, why I feel empty when I get success.
Yeah.
And the question number one that he asked me is, tell me about this God thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe in God or I don't believe in God.
Yeah.
Okay, then it's an added value. Because the consultant, they come to me with all kind of questions of this nature.
That's so wild. That kind of was like the underlying layer of the conversation that was coming up. But it's wild, right? Because like you bring up an amazing point as to, this psychology behind getting to a point where it's like the buildup of success is the exciting part. And once you reach your peak, there is somehow of a come down, right? And like
Yes.
even as young people, I remember feeling that when I graduated from high school. I remember feeling that when I graduated from college. It's like when you reach the level of completion of something that you've been working towards, you're coming down from it somehow.
And we know this scientifically now from positive psychology. We have a happiness thermostat.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. And then once you achieve a certain level, it will revert to your baseline. There are techniques to raise the baseline, but unless you exercise them, you're going to come down. Now, the success paradigm has to do with the lack of alignment between strengths, purpose, and objectives. And that's basically a great part of my work when I work with companies.
Yeah.
We begin with the strength. Every person in the team will get the 5 top strengths. The team will get the top 5 strengths, and the company will get the top 5 strengths.
Okay, so it's individual and overarching company. This is
exactly.
This is you now breaking down the positive plus purpose equals peak performance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then when I go to work with the company, the same way a good doctor gives you a good blood test.
Yeah.
I use 3 instruments to diagnose the company and the team. I use the Myers-Briggs for personality. I use the VIA values in action to map the strengths of people in the company. And I use the purpose factor to map the purpose. With that, I have a tremendous deep knowledge of the strengths and purpose of the group, the blind spots, okay? And then I go and do workshops, individual coaching, and I raise, the company, the calling for all kind of issues, and the performance, lack of motivation, transitions, but it all comes down to the same thing. Lack of alignment.
Yeah. Is there, do you work from top, bottom, middle up? Like, is there a way you work through a company?
Companies are countries, organisms. Companies are alive.
Oh, yes.
Okay. They're organisms. Now, sometimes I work with CEOs alone, only with CEO because the CEO has a particular challenge.
Yeah.
Okay. And I do that. But clearly, to change the direction and culture of a company, I work at all levels. It has to be, individuals. I work a lot with managers. The way managers manage are essential, and they are using usually all models for review and performance. That doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Have to use models of strength. Okay. And we know exactly how they work. Give an example. We know from the work of Barbara Fredrickson and Losada, the two top researchers on positivity, the world experts on positivity.
Yeah.
They conducted extensive studies, and we know today that for each negative, you need 3 positives to equalize.
For each negative, you need 3 positives for it to be equal. Okay.
Okay. Then the negative is stronger than the positive. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you
Why
want
is
to,
that?
because we were in the cave times, we needed the negative to survive.
To make us tougher for survival?
Survive. If you were going out of the cave to hunt, there were high chances that the bear would eat you alive, or a tiger.
Yeah.
Then you had to be on a defensive mode to survive. Then the survival mechanism is stronger than the flourishing mechanism.
Yes.
And we had not evolved because that part of the brain, the amygdala, was the first one to be created, and the rational part, the frontal lobe, the latest one, is the new one, the new kid in the block.
Yeah.
Then you need 3 positive to each negative to equalize, and 4 to 5 to flourish.
Mm-hmm.
Then we know today that you want to have a conversation with somebody on a management, and you want that person to flourish from the conversation before you go into performance and improvement. You need 3 positives.
Before you to go into performance, you need 3 positives. Okay.
Okay, you can go straight into evaluation of weak points. Mm-hmm. You need first to have 3 positives to be sure that when you introduce a more performative variable, you have the cushion of positivity for the person to be able to reflect and absorb it.
Yeah.
And then going back to the positivity to finish in a high note. We know how it works.
So
we know the process.
It's this ebb and flow then.
But the ebb and flow has very distinguished stages that we know today scientifically that should be followed for flourishing and results. This is not about being nice only. This is about results.
Wow. That is, and those stages, are they, and is that how you work mentally with somebody to incorporate those stages from, like, for actuality, like knowing when to incorporate and to lever and push and pull these type of things as they're going through what they're going through to get to that peak performance?
Well, tell me the question again. I want to know exactly what
you know how you said that ebb and flow is stages.
Yes.
Are you teaching those stages so it's like I'm comprehending those stages to get to that peak performance?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yep.
I
Yep.
go, I meet with managers, and we
Yes.
see how they manage, how
Yes.
to evaluate best practices.
Yes.
Clearly, after you have a diagnosis, I work with teams mostly with workshops, which are activities and games.
Okay.
Activities and games. It's
Yeah.
like 1 hour and a half, 2 hours of games where they learn the personality types,
And these
their
are
strength.
your own activities and games that you've
Most
come
of
up with?
them are
Most of
my
them. Yeah.
most of them are my creation after so many years. And then what I do at the end of the workshop, I work with the team on an actual case.
Okay.
Then we go very fast from acquiring the technique to solving a pressing problem they're confronting at that point.
Yeah.
Then we immediately go from learning to action to create a model they can replicate
Yes.
when the next challenge
A next
arises.
case similar to that
Yes,
comes through.
exactly.
Interesting. So it's almost like you can replicate this like within a sales department, within like a variety of different departments based on what kind of cases they are working through on a day-to-day
The
basis.
tools are universal.
Universal.
Everybody, as long as they know this, we know this is going to surprise you.
Yes.
I hope,
Yes.
or not.
Yeah.
We know from studies 70% of people do not know the top 5 strengths. Okay,
70% of people do not know their own top 5 strengths.
their own top 5 strengths.
Yeah.
Then there is a strength blindness, and we know also from science that if you know your top 5 strengths, you have the capability of flourishing 9 times more.
Yeah.
And if you apply them, 18 times more, which means that 7 out of 10 people you interact with are working 9 times below their capabilities just by not knowing the strengths.
Yeah.
Then people ask me, what do you do, Alfredo? And I answer, I am an optometrist.
Okay.
I go to companies and open their eyes to their own strengths.
I love that.
I even do an exercise, when I have a small group and I know the result of their strengths, I make for each person, those charts when you go to the optometrist that you look from, read the tab.
Yes.
And on the tab, I put all the negative things.
Yeah.
And on the bottom, small, or the strengths. And I ask them to stand far away and be taking one step at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until they're able to see the strengths because, okay, we have to make an effort to see the strengths. Okay.
Yeah.
We are usually blind to them. But if I leave a company and everybody knows the strengths and how to apply them, I know that they are 9 to 18 times, and I give them exercises.
Yeah.
And a follow-up, what to do it. I know that they are 9 to 18 times more capable of achieving results.
Yeah. I love how you say like we are blind to our strengths. Sometimes we are also in disbelief of our strengths, even if we may sometimes know them as well.
Well, self-esteem is a big issue. Clearly, if you know, it's basically the chicken and the egg. You don't know the strengths, you're not going to have, you're not going to have self-esteem. And you don't have self-esteem, you're not going to look for your strengths.
Yeah.
That cycle has to be broken.
Yes, I agree. So in your understanding, what do leaders then get wrong about motivation and engagement, especially when things get tough?
That results are going to bring purpose.
Yes, because because they are fed to believe that it's a results, well, it is a results driven world most of the cases, right? So
results are going to fix things.
Yeah.
And then they get success and they feel empty.
Yeah.
But we know purpose first. This has a mantra: purpose first.
Yes.
Strength first. Okay. Then what I usually suggest is the following process.
Yeah.
Fixing first, if there is a crisis. Moving rapidly to strengths. Moving rapidly to what is called psychological capital, which is confidence, hope, optimism, and resilience, and then moving into becoming, which is potential.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the journey I propose. I'm going to repeat it. Fixing first means stopping the bleeding. Then you move into strengths discovery to solidify the team and develop into the future. Then the third is called what is called psychological capital, which is made out of 4 components which bring great performance: confidence, resilience, optimism, and hope. And then that result into becoming, which is the state by which you develop constantly on a flow and achieve peak performance.
Yeah.
That's if I can bring a company, an executive, a leader through that path,
then it's success.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more than success. It's a flourishing because success usually, like the definition of purpose. Some people ask me for purposes. Purpose is giving the best of what you have for the betterment of others.
Yes.
Okay. And the result of purpose is not success, it's flourishing. Flourishing is never empty.
Yes, it's true.
Success is empty.
Yes, you're right. Thanks for clarifying that. So in terms of the companies that you've worked with, everyone from Motorola to major nonprofits, are there patterns that you see in teams that thrive versus the ones that just collapse in pressure?
Yes. Then there are 5 myths I write on my book, the upcoming book, The Human Upgrade. There are 5 myths that every leader I speak with tell me, not in my company.
Not in my company.
Yes, and after spending an hour, all of them do it.
Yeah.
Because they're so ingrained. The first one is fixing as opposed to nourishing. They feel that fixing brings faster and better results as opposed to developing and nourishing. And it's wrong.
Yeah.
The second one is burnout is a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wrong too.
Yeah.
I give you, clearly develop each one of them in the book. The other one is pressure brings results.
Which is, and I want to put a wedge in that because there is this new trend of like, well, now it's like do things softer, but before it was like hard equals success. Do harder things, you will succeed. Yes. Put yourself through pain, dip yourself in a freezing cold bath of cold water at like 4:00 in the morning and your day is going to be so much better.
Yeah, we had to distinguish between pressure and excellence.
Yeah.
What we look at companies is excellence. That's not under pressure. Okay. As I write a chapter also, I am completely against mediocrity.
Yeah.
Positive psychology is not a rosy world. Whoever doesn't take advantage of the strengths and develop and is mediocre is out of the game. Okay, I'm going to give you all the tools, all your strengths, etc. But if you take advantage, there is a price to it.
Yeah.
Another myth is if we get rid of the weak link, the team is going to be stronger than before. Okay, then these are all myths that are very, very, very alive. Although companies will tell you it's not us.
Yeah.
And before we move ahead, we need to see to which extent they're influencing the narrative, the culture of the company.
Yeah. With that said, in terms of not us, you must have some amazing case studies of like a powerful turnaround, using this framework. At least highlight one in short. What was the most powerful one that you probably got the most pushback that really flourished from the momentum of utilizing?
You're putting me in such a tough case. I've done so many and I love them all. I love them all. It's like I said, each company is a country, it's an organism.
What shook you the most, I guess?
Then I went once to a company in close to home. I don't want to, have confidentiality agreements.
Yes.
And these was a software company.
Yes.
They were all from Indian origin.
Okay.
And they all had the same personality type.
Because culture plays a huge role. also, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But all of them have the same personality type, Sasha.
Yeah.
It's like going to an ice cream parlor and they only have vanilla.
Yeah.
And it's a type that is introverted, okay, non-talkative at all, okay, kind of mind your own business, overachievers, adherent to tradition. And then we start to workshop. Now, nobody would talk. Nobody would understand why they were there. By the way, I was called there by the HR person, who was a woman, the only woman, who
Yeah.
was the only one who had a different type.
Interesting. And she found you and said, "We need your help."
Yes, then it's very interesting. We had similar types, and we were looking at each other,
Yeah.
and we couldn't get a word out of those people. You know, I have activities game,
Yeah.
and they would play like, ooh, we got to do the game. Sometimes the breakthroughs are the most bizarre ones. You know what they did at the end? I asked, tell me who is going to be the next birthday.
Yeah.
And they began talking, you know, about birthdays. And one of them said, I am happy the next birthday. I remember like 10 days from now. And then he asked, how are you going to celebrate it? And said, we never celebrate birthdays here. That's your job now. What I want you out of this workshop to plan a birthday party.
Yeah.
Okay, clearly they didn't bring maracas
Yeah.
and salsa, and okay, don't expect that. But they bought a cake.
Yeah.
They stopped work. They came together and they sang happy birthday.
Yeah.
And the HR person called me back and said was a breaking point in the company. They began talking just because of that shift.
Yeah.
They began talking to each other and communicating more. Clearly, I gave her more exercises.
Yeah.
Okay. Clearly, you gain that after many years of experience and knowing how the types work. Okay. And you have to be creative. But sometimes it's not a secret formula on a complicated thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I always remember how I just said, whose birthday next?
And everyone was like,
Okay. And that unstuck
yeah.
the group.
Wow, what an incredible story. Because yeah, I mean, like culturally, like it is very different. You must have some fascinating case studies across the world. You really must.
The book is in 6 months. It's a lot there, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, for every point I make, I bring a case. And I
Yes.
bring a case also from big companies.
Yeah.
You know, I'll give you an example of a case I've been writing about, SodaStream. I don't know if you heard about SodaStream. It's the number one company in the world.
Yeah, SodaStream. Yeah,
30
exactly.
countries, they just
Where they brought the
made,
capability of allowing you to just create sodas in your own home.
yes, okay.
It's huge.
But in a few years became an international company. If you look at the history of SodaStream, people talk about the strategic changes they made, how the management, the business plan. That's not the secret of SodaStream. Early on, SodaStream brought a team of positive psychologist experts and did a strength assessment of the company and created a management system based on strengths. And managers learn how to manage employees based on their strengths. And for example, the management process began by tell me a story of success that happened to you last week.
Yeah.
Okay. What transformed this company into what it is its culture of positivity and positive psychology strengths.
Yeah.
That made a difference. And there are stories after stories about how this is not soft skills, that's performance.
I can't wait for it to come out. So let's dive in a little bit to the book, The Human Upgrade. What does that mean in the context of the AI revolution today? Because leadership in conjunction with the age of AI, right?
Yes,
So
the complete title is The Human Upgrade, the New Leadership for the Era of AI. And we are seeing now that as technology advances rapidly, there is a wave of depression, anxiety, and uncertainty.
yeah,
Okay, technology is inevitable and it's a blessing.
yeah.
That's my
It's
position.
just moving a lot faster right now than it ever has in
It is
human
what is
history.
called today techno stress.
Techno stress.
Okay,
Okay.
it's a term for that. And what I am doing, I am giving a system based on positive psychology and psychological capital of how to acquire the best practices of technology while maintaining
Being
the
human.
human part of the company
Yeah.
well and good and great, knowing that that human touch is going to become, as technology advances, one of the most valuable assets.
Hmm.
And the companies that invest today on the human dimension are going to be the ones that come out of the process with the more value than the other ones.
As we're in parallel moving along with the fast pace of technology.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Then there are two things going on. First, the anxiety and depression and uncertainty, and second, paradoxically, as technology takes more areas of the world and the human becomes smaller in some ways, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to become more precious, more
Yeah.
scarce.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, then the companies who maintain the human touch and are perceived by the customers as caring humanly, and they take care of the people in the company, are going to have a higher value than the other companies.
Yeah.
Okay, and this has to be done now. Okay, in parallel, and I give there a series of strategies. You know, every chapter I write ends with workshops that managers can do by themselves in the company. Okay, and one thing I do, and I want to share with those listening, I don't want anybody who is listening to us to go without knowing the 5 top strengths.
Yeah.
Remember, that will change my life.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to tell everybody listening how to get the top 5 strengths, if that's okay with you,
Yes,
Sasha.
please. I'd love that.
Then I would like everybody listening, take your phone, your smartphone, go to text and text the word positive. Write positive and send it to 33777.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to do it in real time.
Do it yourself.
Okay.
Then you do it, you text positive to 33777, and I will send you the 24 strengths of positive psychology. Then you know them, the 24.
Okay.
Three questions that are going to help you choose your top 5 strengths, and a couple of exercises to go into 9 and 18 times flourishing.
Yeah, okay. So just for the listeners listening, once I texted that, I received a follow-up message that said, "Awesome. What is the best email to send a copy of 2 simple steps to unlock your strategies and achieve peak performance even under extremely uncertain times?"
Yes, and I will send it to you. I also added there my calendar. I like to connect with people if somebody wants to go deeper.
Oh, wow.
Okay, no strings attached for 15 minutes, get to know each other. Then if somebody wants to contact me, that's the way to do it. You know, I am on a quest to end blindness, strength blindness. Okay, I know what done for me. Okay, we need to stop strength blindness. You know, I am going now. I was invited yesterday to go to Chile
Okay,
to
beautiful.
give a seminar on positive psychology to the largest conference on principles of private schools. I work a lot with schools.
Yes.
You know, every child has to own their strengths. We are
How
always
beautiful.
talking about what you should improve. You're not good. You are not good at math. You're not good at reading. No, 3 positive to each negative.
Yeah.
We had to move from fixing to nourishing. That's what they teach the teacher. Unfortunately, they are under pressure like CEOs are.
Yeah.
They need results. The parents of a kid who is 6 years old
Oh,
are really thinking about college.
it's getting
Okay,
crazier. Yeah.
but what we
And
want
as you
is
know,
to
with like living in New York, it's even like the pressure there is insane.
don't tell me.
Yeah.
Then we want creative kids who feel good about themselves, who have self-esteem. Okay,
Yeah.
clearly everybody has to have basics.
Yeah.
Okay, basics that everybody should be at a point, but beyond that,
Yes.
okay, let people flourish. Okay,
Yeah.
let's nourish flourishing, and that's what I usually why schools invite me to.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I mean, starting young with the kids is just so important, to build up that, as we talked a little bit about self-esteem, but I wish I knew this as a child. I mean, it's like unlocking Pandora's box at such a young age, because then it could divert them into what do they actually want to study? What do they want to be when they grow up, versus this confusion of life, right?
Yes, it's
How wonderful.
yeah, that I'm committed to that. To work, I work with at least with one school
Yeah.
a year. I give these lectures to principals, but I work with every twice a year with the principals leadership program,
Yes.
and they take the Meyer breaks and the idea and the purpose factor with me.
Yeah.
Then I am, on a very in a mentorship of 1 hour
Yeah.
where I do an executive coaching for principals.
Yeah.
I find this essential.
I love it. I love it. What new emotional and psychological skills will be non-negotiable for leaders over the next 5 years, do you feel?
Well, the 4 ones from psychological capital, we know now that they are the most important ones. Then confidence is the number one driver for performance.
Yeah.
If your employee is not confident, the game is over. Hope as the willingness of execute and have different possibilities.
Yeah.
That's what hope. Optimism, thinking that we are going to make it, and resilience, to come back from setbacks higher than before. Clearly, saying things fast, but these are the 4
Yeah.
drivers of performance. Within strengths, the 24 strength, the one that we are seeing, which is the most important for performance, is perseverance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not success. Are the ones who persevere in light of setbacks or challenges. Then we had to develop a perseverance muscle. Okay, now we undermine people constantly and we tell them how bad they are. We think that they are developing the perseverance, but that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to give productive challenges that stretch the person beyond where they are now.
Yeah.
Okay, it has to be productive perseverance. Okay, then those are the 5 things: confidence, resilience, hope, optimism, and
Hmm.
perseverance. Those are the 5. Okay, and clearly also develop the top 5 that each person has.
Yeah. So
Okay,
incorporating that as well as the top five, and then if they're working for a company, it's connecting that to the strengths of the company as well, right?
with the values, I always do it, but I always very interested how this company came to be. What were the values of the founders?
Yes.
They always have values. The value wasn't making money.
Yeah.
Okay, when they began a company, they have aspiration and a vision, and they came to solve a problem. And every
Yeah.
problem they came to solve has behind it a pain.
Yeah.
Then they came to solve a pain. What was that pain? How are we solving that pain now? How that pain reflects on us? Okay, those are
Mm-hmm.
questions of culture and narrative that if they are not answered, there is no purpose.
Yeah. It's true. How then do you help founders avoid this silent burnout trap? It's like sometimes they don't even realize because it's like a slow killing momentum until they get to that burnout.
Rediscover your purpose.
Okay.
Usually, burnout has to do with I lost my purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose brings clarity, okay? Renewal,
Yeah.
okay? And we have today, this is amazing. Gabriel and Brian Bosch of the Purpose Company, which are the leaders on purpose in the world, spent 10 years
Yeah.
developing this new instrument called the Purpose Factor that maps the purpose of a person and a corporation. Is the best instrument I know today on the market.
Yeah.
There are only today a couple of hundred people licensed to do it. It's so new.
Yeah.
And I am one of them.
Yeah.
Then that's something that I do that very few consultants are doing today. I'm using the latest verified and reliable instrument on purpose. And that's a game changer.
Mm, that's wonderful. And you started that when? Recently?
I was certified a month ago. I've been kind of using it with the permission before, because I am on the mastermind group and I've been, I am an insider.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. But I began a month ago with the full licensing credits. It's coming in Spanish in January. I do a lot of work I do half of my work in South America.
Okay.
Then it's coming in Spanish too, and I already have top CEO of companies in South America waiting,
Yeah.
just waiting and calling me and saying when it's coming out. Okay. It's going to be a revolution on instruments and changing the culture of workplaces.
Wow.
All about purpose.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh, there's so much I want to unpack.
And I like to talk, as you can see.
I know, but you know what has been really, really interesting to me is how clear and concise and how compact your responses are to the questions, where it's like you don't trail off. You really put the nuggets in such a short framework that it's digestible to receive on the other end.
Well, a couple of things.
Yeah.
I have 30 years
Of
preaching.
Yeah. But I don't feel that you're preaching. It's
I don't
just
preach anymore.
no.
I never preached.
Yeah.
I never preached.
No,
by
it's
the
a
way. I was never that
conversation.
kind.
Yes.
I was always critical mind,
Yes.
exploration,
Yeah.
search. By the way, that's why I left the pulpit.
Yes.
One of the reasons, because the pulpit was too constraining for a person like me.
Gotcha.
Pulpit like status quo, and that's fine. And people go there for tradition and stable things.
Sure.
And my number one strength is creativity.
Yeah.
Then I'm out of the box looking for the latest one. Okay. Then I never preached, but I have 30 years of talking and communicating.
Yeah.
Or 30 years of communicating. And also, Sasha, because positive psychology and psychological capital are sciences.
Yeah.
And because they are sciences, they give me the precise language. Everything I am telling you is sustained and based on studies I have read in the most solid and prestigious journals. Okay, I could put a footnote on most of the things I said.
Yeah.
Then it is concise because it's based on real information and evidence.
Yep.
With the experience of me bringing it to companies and translating it into the daily work.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's concise, because I am standing on the shoulder of great psychologists and thinkers.
Yeah, I mean, I can say that, sometimes I've had podcasts that have gone over into an hour and I feel like we've uncovered a lot more in 50 minutes than I have in a podcast that's been an hour and a half, for example.
This is a passion for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Every time a company calls me and says, we want you, I don't mind how many I've done and how big they are.
Yeah.
I call my wife and said, I am going to a place.
Yeah.
Okay. Every time, even if I had 3 phone calls a day,
Yeah.
just, I'm excited 30 years ago today as I was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Every person who discovered their strengths and changes their lives
Yeah. You're on a mission.
is a mission.
Yeah.
It's a mission without ideology.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a mission based on science and good practice.
Yeah. That's amazing. Alfredo, this has been incredible, 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 incredible. I'm so humbled and honored to have you as a guest on the podcast, truly. I'd like to do 3 last questions that are just rapid fire before you go. So whatever comes to mind, just, respond, and then
Yeah,
we can tell everybody where to find you once we conclude. What's one personal belief or philosophy that has helped you through your darkest moments?
becoming is the most important word
Mm,
that there is.
yeah, I love it. What's one book, quote, or story you return to when guiding others through transformation?
The life of Moses.
Mm,
Okay, a guy who came from nothing, of being rescued, and then rescued others.
yeah, that's fantastic. Finish the sentence. Peak performance isn't about the hustle, it's really about
The process.
the process, which we talked a lot about today. Yeah. Alfredo, this is beautiful. Where can everybody find you other than, texting positive to 33777?
It's very easy because when you text that and I send you the material, you have a calendar at the end where you can set a meeting with me, no strings attached. If you want to bring me to your company, you can tell me what the issue is. I tell you if I can help you.
Okay.
If you want to ask me something about your strengths when you discover them on the exercise I give you, or you want me to tell you how to get them through an instrument
Yeah.
that is more scientific, I am, and you want to get that information and say, I don't want to see you ever again.
Yeah.
Okay. Or you want to say, oh, I want to work with you, however it goes.
Yeah. So you
For
work
me,
with
it's
individuals as well, not just
a lot.
companies.
I
Okay.
would say 50% of my practice are individuals who want to achieve peak performance, who had lost purpose and want clarity, executives who want to sharpen the leadership. The instruments are so universal. Okay, everybody needs a strength, purpose. I don't mind where you are.
Yeah.
That's are going to be the drivers of each individual to achieve, to be who they are meant to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Alfredo, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining on the
Th-
podcast. And
Thank you, Sasha. I had a great time.
yes, thank you. I really appreciate it.